Okay, y'all, so please forgive my please excuse my headband. This wig has definitely been on my head for about a week and a half now, and it's Sunday, and Sundays are usually the days when I wash my lace and, you know, reapply and everything like that. So I'm trying to hide my lace right now. Also, please forgive my voice because right now I'm sick. I'm going through something, but I'm checking my Robitussin, so it's gonna be fine. So yeah, basically, if I look like I'm going through it in this video, it's because your girl's going through it. So the first thing that I always do in my makeup routine is moisturize my lips. But just a little pro tip, make sure that you use chapstick and not lip gloss, because I found that whenever I use lip gloss, sometimes it'll get around like the edges of my lips, and when I put on my foundation, it'll get stuck in the lip gloss, and like that part of my foundation will be just like a little bit lighter than like the rest of my skin. So now I've started using chapstick instead of lip gloss. Okay, so the next thing that I do is I moisturize my skin, and I'll be using the Clinique Dramatically Different Moisturizing Gel, and it looks like this. I know that some people think that people with oily skin do not have to moisturize. That's a myth. You still need to moisturize your skin, regardless of what type of skin you have. Hello.
Hey, baby Kate.
Hey.
How you feeling?
I'm okay.
Everybody else falling apart besides me and you then.
Oh Lord, is Dad sick?
He ain't feeling well.
Oh no, I don't know what's going on.
Oh, he ain't feeling well. How are your cold symptoms?
I'm doing better today. My throat has not been hurting, but I'm still like drainy. Like my nose has still got some stuff going on.
Yeah, you sound stopped up.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah. It's still not gone, whatever's going on.
Yeah, hopefully my Robitussin will kick the rest out today.
Well, let me say something. Well, if you don't feel any better, run by a doctor in the box and get you a shot.
I know.
Is this supposed to be the worst flu season?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, y'all tell that yesterday. I thought it did.
You did. I'm recording right now, so can I call y'all back?
Yeah, bye. Yeah, we love you, bye.
Okay, love you too. Bye. So I just looked it up, and it says in normal and oily skin, external factors such as pollution, UV rays, and excessive cleansing can damage skin's moisture barrier, causing loss of moisture and an increase in oil production. That's why you should use a moisturizer for oily, acne-prone skin after cleansing, just as you would moisturize dry skin. So, period poop. So make sure you moisturize your skin, even if you have oily skin. I know that I've definitely been the worst about that. Like I was like, my skin got enough moisture, like I don't need to do that, but I definitely notice a difference in my skin when I moisturize, and my makeup goes on so much better. And also, I just want to mention that you do not need an expensive moisturizer. Out of all the products you're going to spend a lot of money on, I don't feel like a moisturizer is something that you have to spend $30 on. I have an expensive moisturizer, just because I'm a makeup artist, so, you know, so collecting like different types of makeup and skincare that I see, like it's just kind of like something that I'm into. So that's why I wanted to try the Clinique one, but I was using Jergens lotion before that, and it worked just fine. So you definitely don't have to spend like a whole bunch of coin on a moisturizer. Just make sure that you are moisturizing your skin. So the next thing that I do after I moisturize my skin is to prime, and today I'll be using the Milk Hydro Grip Primer. And this comes highly recommended by Aunt Jackie. If y'all follow Jackie Aida, she's been around. She's been on YouTube for literally like 10 plus years. So it's crazy that I just now found her, but she's literally one of my faves now. Jackie has oily skin, so along with her just being like a bomb makeup artist, I trust her opinion on primers that I should use, because she has oily skin just like I have oily skin. I also want to stress that you need to follow somebody or make sure that you have a makeup artist that you trust that has, like, first of all, like your same skin tone, as far as like shade references, so you can look at what shades they're using and reference it back to your own skin tone, what skin type they have. If you have acne prone skin, you need to be following someone that has acne prone skin, or if you have a dry skin, follow someone that has dry skin. To make sure that you're getting products that will work for your skin, you need to be following someone that has the same skin like type or problems that you have, because I don't know anything about dry skin. My mom has drier skin, whereas like the rest of us, like me, my sister, my dad, I'll have oily skin, and she'll ask me all the time, you know, since I'm into makeup, she trusts my opinion on stuff like that. But honestly, like, I can't give her any feedback on dry skin because I've never dealt with dry skin. Like, I don't really know anything about it. So just a pro tip, make sure that you're following someone that has the same skin type as you. This is a more expensive primer. Again, you don't have to go like this deep. It does not have to be $30 for a primer. Again, that's just something that I love collecting makeup. I love trying all different types of makeup. So, oops, sorry. So that's why I decided to try this one. And y'all, this primer, I didn't like it the first time I tried it, but I tried it when I wasn't wearing moisturizer. Like I wasn't wearing any type of moisturizer on my skin. I just put a primer on like I normally do. And when I tell you it dried down so quick, like when it says hydro grip, it means it's gripping all the hydration out your face. So you need to definitely wear a moisturizer with this product. But when you do, like your skin just looks absolutely your skin just looks absolutely flawless. It's so crazy that I was about to like cancel a product when I was being trashed. Like I was about to judge it off of like me not moisturizing my skin, but anyway. So it really is a good primer, and I highly recommend if you're looking for a more expensive primer, or if you want to dabble in something new, you want to try something new. But of course, if you're looking for a less expensive primer, y'all know that I highly recommend the CoverGirl True Blend Base Business Primer. This is what it looks like. This has been the primer that I've been using for, I think this is really the only primer I've ever used besides like the Milani. And the only reason that I was wearing the Milani primer was because I couldn't find the CoverGirl one. But the CoverGirl one, hands down, my OG favorite primer. Like even though I really like, the Milk one, I'm definitely still always gonna make sure that I have my CoverGirl stocked. So if you're looking for a less expensive primer that works for oily skin, CoverGirl True Blend Base Business is where it's at. Although this primer dries down really quickly, you always want to make sure that you give your primer time to get adjusted to your face and get tacky. So usually what I like to do while my primer is drying down is I'll do something that like takes like a minute or two. So I always apply my foundation with a beauty blender. So what I'm going to do while my primer is settling into my skin is I'm going to go wash like my beauty blender that I'm going to be using for the day. So I'm going to go do that really quick and I'll be right back.
A few moments later.
Okay, I'm back. So I just finished wetting my sponge, and I've actually gotten some questions before on like why you wet your sponge. Just like any other type of sponge, like your makeup sponge is going to work the best when it's wet, because the water seeps into the sponge and it not only softens the sponge, but it also like makes it bigger, and once it's full of water it doesn't soak up your makeup as much, if that makes sense. But yeah, that's why you wet your sponge. It's going to give you a much better makeup application. If you use a dry sponge, I don't know, I really can't even tell you, but just wet your sponges. And sometimes people ask me also like, you know, because you don't want your sponge to be too wet, so people always ask like, how do you make sure your sponge isn't too wet? So what I like to do is like, I'll go ahead and rinse my sponge, and then I'll squeeze it out in the sink, and then I'll take it on a towel when I get back, and I'll squeeze it once, twice, and then usually my sponge is just dampened up, but it's not like soaking wet. So next, after I have moisturized and primed my skin, of course I'm gonna go on to my foundation. And what foundation do I want to use today? So since I've already recommended 2 high-end products to you guys, I'm going to go ahead and use a foundation that's a drugstore foundation. I'm going to be using the Maybelline Fit Me foundation, the matte version. This is the OG, like, best foundation. This is what, I feel like this is everybody's, like, go-to foundation. Like, when you just need something, you can go to Walmart and just pick this up. Also, I want to talk to you guys about this sponge, because this sponge is bomb, and it's crazy because it's actually supposed to be a powder sponge. So this sponge is the Real Techniques powder sponge. The details on this sponge, it says Real Techniques Miracle Powder Sponge features revolutionary foam technology paired with proprietary velvety material for maximum pickup, evenly blended powder. Seamlessly set powder foundation for a matte base. Rounded side for blending, flat edge for baking, pointed tip for coverage, dab, bounce, blend, use wet or dry with powders. Okay, so this is supposed to be a powder sponge, but the same sponge that I use for my foundation is the one that I use for my powder. So I've been using it for my foundation too, and it's been giving me like the best coverage. Like, this is probably my new favorite foundation sponge. I took my foundation and I poured it out on my hand, and now I'm just gonna dip my finger in it and place it all over my skin. I never place like my sponges or my brushes directly into my makeup. When you put your brushes directly into your makeup, they have more product build up on them, so you have to wash them a lot more often. So I always just take my my foundation out and place it on my skin with my finger first. Also, by doing this, you end up using less foundation because you're able to spread it out. If you just put it in one place and try to drag it out, if you put it in a lot of areas around your face, you end up using a lot less product. We all trying to save that coin, you feel me? And I'm just going to be using my beauty blender to blend this out. Okay, Okay, so after I finish my foundation, I'm gonna go in with my concealer, and I start off with a concealer that matches my skin tone first. So I'm gonna be using the Juvia's Place concealer. I know some of y'all canceled them, sorry. This is one of the only foundations that I have that actually matches my skin tone, because I don't know about y'all, but growing up watching YouTube videos, like I thought all your concealers were supposed to be like 3 shades lighter than your skin tone, and that's definitely not the case. Like your concealer is literally just supposed to give you some extra coverage that your foundation doesn't give you. Like it's literally supposed to conceal. I know for me, like I was always like putting like my light concealer like in all the places you're supposed to conceal. But yeah, so if you don't have a concealer that matches your skin tone, I highly suggest you invest in one, because we've been lied to. Your concealer is not supposed to be, well, I don't like saying it's not supposed to be, because makeup is a finesse. Like everybody does their makeup different, and as long as it looks good, like who's gonna clock you, you know? Because I've literally seen a YouTube video where a girl was using a lipstick as a contour, and you will probably never see me using a lipstick as a contour on my channel, but sis looked good, sis looked snatched, so who am I to like clock her on like what she's using and how she's using it. So but now that I've learned that like 90% of my face isn't supposed to be lighter than my actual complexion, I really prefer the more natural look. So I really only brighten under my eyes now, whereas I use a concealer that matches my skin tone in every other area of my face. And can y'all give me the tea on this whole like Juvia's Place situation? Because I know they're supposed to be canceled or whatever. I don't know, I just really hate to see a black-owned brand get severely canceled when like all these other like actually problematic like people don't get canceled. Like they get canceled for like 5 minutes. So let me know, like what's the tea? Like are we really canceling like Juvia's Place? Like are y'all playing? Like y'all really mad, or y'all like little mad? Like big mad, little mad? Let me know. I missed it when it happened, so y'all let me know. We really canceling them? Let me know how y'all feel in the comments down below, because I need to know. Because I feel like people be getting canceled and then they find like 3 months later. Like, so are they really canceled? Like really like really canceled, or like are we play canceling them? Like let me know. Okay, so after I've gone in and concealed with my my concealer that matches my skin tone, I go in with a lighter concealer. So today I'm going to be going in with the L'Oreal Infallible Full Wear Concealer, and this is in the shade girl, where's the shade? I'm in the shade Amber, which is number 385. So I'm going to use this lighter concealer just under my eyes, just to brighten up my eyes. And I also know that a lot of people, like when they do their concealer, they tell you to just like dot it under your eyes and blend up, whereas I like to actually like swipe. Again, makeup is a finesse. Like I'm literally showing you guys what works for me, in hopes that you will try it. If it works for you, great. If it doesn't, you know what doesn't work for you. Like it's just as important to know what doesn't work for you just as it is to know what does work for you. But I hate when people say like you're not supposed to do that. Like who are you? Like what are you mad about? Like how are you want to do your makeup? Do your makeup, sis. Like I don't like saying you're not supposed to do this, because literally makeup is just like any other art form. Like it's an expression of self. Like do whatever you like, sis. Do whatever looks good to you. Like I just think it's really funny. Like no shade, like I promise, no shade, but it's like, ma'am, if your makeup collection consists of 2 foundations and a 15-piece makeup brush set, like do not clock me. Like do not clock me. Like what are you mad about? It's my face. Like if you don't like it, don't look at it. Okay, so now that I have done my foundation and my concealer, I'm going to be setting my face with powder. And I feel like this is what I consider like the most important part of setting your makeup. This is the part that will like make or break if your makeup's gonna last all day. So I'm gonna be showing you guys my powder routine and how I set my face. So I'm gonna be using 2 different powders. I always use like a translucent I always use a translucent or like a lighter shade powder, as well as another powder that is more my skin tone, that is pigmented. I use 2 different powders just because I feel like I have not found a powder on the market yet that really matches my skin tone. All the ones that try to be, like brown girl friendly, I just feel like are like either really neutral and like really make me look really pink and pale, or they're just like really extremely yellow. I like using makeup that has yellow undertones because I feel like it brightens my face. I think I have yellow undertones. I've never gotten it checked, I don't know, but I think I have yellow undertones. I like using yellow based makeup, but I found that if I use like yellow powders to set my makeup and I only use that, I come out looking like a mellow yellow can, but also I'm not the type where I like to use just like a lighter powder. Like I don't want to be like, I don't know, I don't like that look of like a lighter. I don't like that look. Okay, so the first powder that I'm going to be going in with is the Airspun powder, and this is in the shade Naturally Neutral. I really don't think that this is a translucent powder. I can read y'all what it says on the back. Airspun loose face powder featuring an exclusive microspun formula where loose powder particles are spun and swirled until they reach a cloud-like softness. Okay then. This ultra smooth powder hides tiny lines, wrinkles, and blemishes and gives a new softness to your skin. Used to set makeup or as a foundation. As a foundation, okay. So I don't think this is a translucent powder, but it's not a super heavy powder. It's still a very fine powder because it says it's been spun and swirled and cloud-like softness, all that stuff. So this is the powder that I start off with, and so I always just take my powder and I turn it upside down so that the powder gets into the top, and I'll separate it like so. And so I have like my powder in the top, and so I'll take my beauty blender and dab it in the powder. But can you tell how like my powder, like it's uneven on the sponge? Like there's more product right here than on the rest of the sponge, so that's what you don't want. Sometimes people talk about like their powder making them look cakey. I think that that's the problem. Like people maybe just put the powder directly on their face off of the beauty blender without like getting an even base on their beauty blender. So after I get the powder on my sponge, like the base of the product actually has like these little holes right here where the product comes out of, and so I'll just take my beauty blender and I'll dab it over those little circles to dab off some of the excess powder so that I get an even base on my beauty blender. And so now like you can tell like the powder is more evenly distributed on the beauty blender, and I always do that before I put it on my face. So look, this is about to be real triggering for about 0.3 seconds because it's gonna go on my face and it's gonna look real light for my skin tone. Okay, so just wait before you judge, ma'am. Before you judge, before you click off, before you unsubscribe, ma'am. Just wait till the end. Wait till I finish, okay? Just wait. So I always start like in the corner of my eye where my eye meets my nose, and I'll start right there and just follow like the direction of my eye, and then I'll bring it down on my cheek and just blend it slowly. Sometimes even though it looks like you're putting on a lot of product at one time, if you keep blending the powder, it'll look more natural. Like it'll blend in. Like you see, it's still brighter, but still like you see that it's not like bright white on my face like how it initially goes on. And you want to make sure that like if you're anything like me, then you have like, if you have smile lines or if your makeup like creases around your nose. What is on my nail? Has it been there the whole time? Look, if y'all been seeing this lace glue that was on my nail, I am so sorry. I just now saw that. Oh my god. But yeah, if you're anything like me and you crease like around your nose and like your smile lines, make sure that you really press powder into those areas. Like you want to make sure that you really get in to those creases. You also want to make sure that you go over your eyebrows. This will help set your eyebrows for later. And also like I just like to like cut my jaw a little bit with this powder. When you're setting your powder, you're still setting kind of like the, ooh, I hope y'all can't see my lace. Whenever I set under my jaw, it's really just shaping mechanism anyway, because like I don't get oily down here. So really the only reason that I set right here is really just to set the shape of my face. You want to make sure that you bring your powder down on your neck as well. So after I have done one complete layer of powder with my Airspun powder, I'm going to go in with my powder that matches my skin tone now. So I have the Makeup Revolution powders in like all the shades now. Like I have 4 of them. If you're interested in like an affordable setting powder, I highly recommend this one. I don't know how much they are. Let me look it up. So at Ulta, this is $8, which you really can't beat that for any makeup. Like any makeup product really, but especially for a powder, you can't beat that, especially with how much powder you get in here. So if you're like me and you can't find a powder that matches your skin tone, they have a lot of shades. Even when I went in there last time, they've expanded again, so they have a lot of shade options. So if you're like me and you need to mix shades, I highly recommend this powder. So yeah, I have just it mixed in this this CoverGirl tin. And I do the same thing with this powder that I do with the other one. The Banana Deep is the one that I would call the closest to matching my skin tone, but it's still super yellow. No, it's still too yellow for me to feel comfortable just like wearing it by itself. So I like to cut the Banana Deep with lace, which is the more neutral pinky shade. Ooh. Anyways, and by doing this, it just adds like a little bit of like pigment back into my skin. I know that it looks lighter, but it's still got a yellow undertone. Like sometimes you'll have a color that can be the right shade for you, but if it's the wrong undertone, then it's still going to look crazy. So after I've set my cheeks with kind of that lighter yellow shade, I go in and mix some more of the terracotta to make kind of like this, more of this like lighter brown kind of sand. We're gonna go with sand shade, and that's how I'm gonna set my jaw. It's a really pretty color too. I really would feel comfortable setting my whole face with this, but you know. Ooh, that's pretty. That's really pretty. And again, it looks lighter on camera, but I promise you it's really not that light. Like, it really looks OD light on camera, but I promise it's not. I'm gonna go in and dust off some of that powder. I also just wipe the foundation and powder off my lips. 9 times out of 10, if you think you look like a crackhead after doing your makeup, like, wipe your mouth. It's probably because you have foundation on your mouth. Okay, so now, like I said, setting your makeup is the most important part of your makeup routine. It's really what's going to make your skin look flawless at the end. And setting your makeup consists of setting it with powder and then, of course, setting it with makeup spray. So I'm going to talk to you guys about what I'm about to do with my setting sprays before I actually do it, because when you're setting your makeup, you don't want to talk until it's completely dry, because you don't want your setting spray to set into any of your creases or anything like that, because it's going to set like that. So I like to not talk, smile, anything, move my face while I'm setting my makeup or while I'm using my setting spray. So I'm gonna go ahead and tell you guys what I'm about to do. So just like my powders, I use 2 different setting sprays, and I'll explain to you why. The first setting spray that I use is my Morph setting spray, and this setting spray I'll show you. It's like a, hopefully it doesn't get on my lens. It's like a fine, can y'all see that? I'm wearing black, so maybe you can see it if I spray it in front of me. It's like a fine mist. I hope you can see that, because this is a $16 setting spray. I can't keep wasting space like that. But sprays that come out as a mist are a softer setting spray. Like, it's going to set your makeup where it's kind of like an oil control type of deal, but it's not going to set your face so hard that you can't touch it up later. Like, some setting sprays set your face so hard that if you move it later, it'll like streak your makeup, or your makeup will come off or something like that. So if you've ever experienced that, like you use a setting spray and then you try to touch up your makeup with like a sponge or something later and it shifts your makeup or just takes it off completely, you're using too hard of a setting spray, or you need to include a softer setting spray with it, one of the two. By laying this one down first, I'm able to go back in and touch up my makeup if I want to. Whereas if I was just using a hard setting spray, I wouldn't be able to do that. So yeah, so I put this one down first, and then I move into what I consider a harder setting spray. And I've recently been using the Milani Make It Last. This is not the one I prefer. I'm gonna try to put like insert a picture or something of the one that I prefer, and that's the, or maybe I can just do it right now. Let me look it up. So it's their Makeup Revolution Pro Fix Oil Control setting spray. Let me get a picture so I can show you guys. So this is the one that I prefer in terms of my quote-unquote hard setting spray. If you guys are interested in it, it's $8 again, can't beat that. And so this one, I'll show you, it's like a spray, like it's not a mist, it's gonna come out as a spray. Let's see if you can see it. You see how that's like a little bit more aggressive. So I put this one on second because while this gives me, you know, the movability to be able to touch up my makeup if I want to, it just doesn't set my makeup enough for me. It does very well with like oil control, but as far as like setting my makeup where it's not gonna move and it'll be sweat proof and everything like that, it's really not, it doesn't do all of that in my opinion. So I use a harder makeup spray, or you know, like an actual spray, not a mist, because what this one's going to do, it's not going to be immovable because I set this one down first, but it's going to set my makeup a little bit better. Like my makeup will crease with this one because it's a softer set, so like it'll still crease around like my smile lines and around my nose if I just use this one. Whereas if I use both, this one will kind of keep my makeup from creasing. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to spray my face with this one, and then I'm gonna go in after that and spray my face with this one, and then I'm going to take my fan. Isn't she beautiful? Like, I wish that I could tell y'all where I got this fan from, but I really got it from like just like a local owned business like in my college community. But I think if you type in like African print fan, like you can find these. I got this one for $20, and then I got this one during homecoming. She had a sale for like $10. But they're really cute, really thick. Like, they really help during like football season and everything like that. It's not just some little fan. Like, it's really like, it's moving. So yeah, if you're interested in this fan, just like Google African print fan, you might be able to find one. But again, if you just want like a cheaper alternative, you can find like just little foldable fans at Dollar Tree. Like, it's not that big of a deal, especially if it's just to like set your makeup. But for me, I'm bougie, so you know, I be at my football games like. So after I set my face with both, I'm going to go in with my fan, and I'm going to fan my face until my face is completely dry. You do not want to put any products on your face after setting it with setting spray until your face is completely dry. Completely dry. Because if you do that, again, you're going to have the problem where you're like, whatever you try to touch is going to like pick up, or you're going to smudge your makeup or something like that. So you want to make sure your skin is completely dry before you do anything, okay? So I'm gonna stop talking now. I'm gonna show you how I do it. Okay, so after my makeup is completely set and dry, you can actually see the difference. I don't know if it's translating on camera, but you can tell your makeup is just set after you do this. I'm gonna go ahead and apologize for around my nose. Hopefully, like, I'm not close enough for y'all to be able to see it, but my nose is just gonna be messed up because I've been blowing my nose so much. So makeup is just not sitting in this area very well, so I'm gonna go ahead and apologize for that now. My skin is just messed up in that area, so I apologize. That is how I set my makeup and how I do my base foundation routine. So I'm gonna go ahead and do my eyebrows and my eyes off camera, and then I'll come back. So now I'm officially done with everything regarding skin and my makeup routine, so I'm just gonna go ahead and set my face one more time. But I only set it with the Morph setting spray, the lighter of the two setting sprays. I don't go in with the hard setting spray as well. I feel like that would make me look really like cakey and really dry out my makeup and just really make me look like, I don't know, just really powdery. It's just too harsh for you to use that twice in your routine, in my opinion. So I'm gonna go in and spray this one more time, and I'll fan my face until it's completely dry, just one more time. But yeah, that is all for this video today, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Let me know if you guys decide to try this routine out, if it helps you at all. If your makeup lasts all day, let me know. I would love to hear from you guys. Also, if you end up trying any of these products, let me know how you feel about them, as well as feel free to put me on to something better if you know something better, okay? Put me on, sis. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure that you give this video a big thumbs up if you enjoyed it, as well as comment down below what was helpful about this video. And of course, make sure that you guys subscribe to my channel, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye.